Previously on the Stormythology Series. When Claude de Ruyter and his men came for her in the woods, Ororo tried to escape with her powers, but was brought down from the sky with a tranquilizer dart. She was saved by the young Prince T'Challa of Wakanda, who was on walkabout from his kingdom and saw the earlier encounter with de Ruyter in the village. He brought her back to Teacher's camp to recover. Ororo and T'Challa were both immediately taken with each other and began spending time together. Nervous about her feelings toward T'Challa and her growing powers, Ororo nearly split a tree in half with a lightning bolt when the two of them shared a kiss. T'Challa helped Ororo gain confidence in her powers, however, and exert control over them. On a private picnic in the jungle, Ororo made love for the first time with the young prince.
The bull has decided that he no longer cares for the money or capturing the Wind Rider. He must kill T'Challa, the son of his enemy T'Chaka, and redeem his name. Teacher tells the bull that fear should rule his heart, that if he knows of T'Chaka, then he knows that he was also the Black Panther. The bull asks Teacher how does he know so much? Where was he born? Only Wakandans know that their king is also the Black Panther. Teacher proudly tells him he is Wakandan, and the bull throws him from the helicopter. Claude realizes that he and his brother now have very different missions regarding T'Challa and the Wind Rider. As the sun rises on a new day, T'Challa asks Ororo to join him on his journey. He feels that Ororo is worldly wise in ways that he is not, and he feels there's a lot more that they can teach each other. Not only was she beautiful, but she was smart, tough, courageous, and most attractively, principled, even while being a thief. Ororo does not answer him immediately. Instead, she asks him to join her in a bath. As she prepares to cleanse her face, she wonders if her mother knows how happy she is right now. And if so, she prays that her mother will whisper in her father's ear and tell him that for the first time since the day they left, she felt okay. That their little princess had survived. She was a woman now, and she was happy. She continues to bathe her face. She can hear footsteps behind her, and she calls for her prince to join her. Claude shoots her with a tranquilizer. As she tries to crawl away, Claude mocks her by name. He tells her that he learned her name from the children in the village, just before his men killed them all, burned the village to the ground, and threw her teacher from a helicopter. He tells Ororo that now he will deal with the boy personally, and he orders his men to place his prize in the vibranium coffin. They activate the coffin and place her inside the helicopter. Claude rushes into the woods after T'Challa. He too has changed his mind. Now that he has captured the Wind Rider, he wants to take his vengeance on T'Challa before his brother does. In the woods, as T'Challa prepares to join Ororo for the bath, he can hear heavy footsteps approach him. When he turns around, he immediately recognizes the bull. And Andreas is happy. He attacks, but he is not aware that this boy is just as lethal as his father. T'Challa fights as fast and hard as he can, but his mind is distracted. Where was Ororo? He knows the bull is dangerous, and he must find Ororo. Though spry and acrobatic, the bull manages to knock him out with the swing of a small tree. As the bull prepares to kill T'Challa and exact his revenge, he is shot in the back, twice, by his own brother. He begs Claude not to betray him, but Claude shoots him 6 more times, and he leaves with T'Challa. When they are clear of the bull, he throws T'Challa to the ground, planning to beat him to death with his bare hands. But T'Challa awakes, disables him, and runs off to find Ororo, leaving Claude to deal with a very drowsy, very angry bull. At the helicopter, inside the coffin, Ororo tries to focus, and in the darkness, through her fear, she calls for T'Challa over and over. Her heart beats 1,000 times, hitting harder with each beat. If Teacher was dead, if her friends were dead, and the village burned to the ground, then T'Challa was all she had left, and she cries and prays for him to save her. She tries to remember his teachings, breathe and inhale and focus, but soon the air's too thick to breathe. Sweat falls in her eyes and creates puddles of salty fear. She begins to pant and pray for air. Her heart beats harder and faster with every scream. She prays for a breeze to come, but the gods do not answer. Meanwhile, outside Ororo's coffin, Zenja has escaped, killed one of de Ruyter's men, and now she wants her vengeance on Ororo for the death of her father, her urchin brothers and sisters, and the destruction of the village, once her home. Inside the coffin, Ororo is already praying for death. She cries and screams from pain, both physical and mental, and the more she loses control, the more her gifts rage. Zenja finally picks the locks to the coffin, and Ororo falls out frantically onto the ground, crawling as she tries to piece her mind and her thoughts back together. Zenja stalks behind her, screaming her hatred at Ororo. Zenja tells her that she is pathetic, and it sickens her that Teacher wanted her to be his daughter. She, who had brought death to everyone in the village, all because she wanted a camera that reminded her of her American father. She tells Ororo that she is bad luck and a curse. She tells Ororo that she is her enemy, and she does agree with one thing her father told her: always kill your enemy.